Hello friends, how are you doing all? I hope you are doing well, staying healthy, enjoying life, and must be planning to improve your life. Here we are to do so. Here daily we read a chapter of a novel to develop a reading habit to improve our English, including reading, writing, speaking, vocabulary at the same time, enhancing our knowledge. As we know, reading is the best practice to develop all these things, which help us in many ways. And reading could be one of the good hobby to make a change in our life. And we have also heard from many prominent personalities that books change their life, add values, widen their knowledge. We can live other life by reading a book and get all those experience and learn from their mistake. So why to commit same mistake if we can learn from them and improve our life? So join me in this journey to become best version of ourselves before starting. I would love to hear your thought in comment section. Remember to like, share with your loved one to change their life as well, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Press the bell icon for daily updates. Today we are going to read chapter 16 and see that what is there for us and what we can learn from this chapter. If you haven't watched the previous video, which was part 15, you must watch that because somewhere this novel is connected to each one and interconnected, so it will be better that you watch from the starting. So let's read and see that what is there for us.
16. So tell me, why don't you believe in God? They were on board a metro heading towards central Delhi. Unable to find seats, the two of them stood next to each other on the crowded train. While Rupali had rested her back against a vertical bar, Arjun held on to the support hanging above him from the roof of the train. In fact, to answer that question, let me first ask you, why do you believe in God? Rupali couldn't give an answer to the question. She had never felt the need to think about a reason to believe in God. It was strange, and she only ended up saying, "Come on. So many people believe in God. If he was not there, why would so many people believe in him? Is that your answer? Because so many people believe in him, therefore you do too." Rupali hesitated. Yes, that's my reason, because ever since I was a kid, I have been told that there is a God. That's who we pray to at home and in the temples. Our history establishes this fact. Those ancient holy books in various religions state that there is a God, she said. Arjun sighed and shook his head. Rupali spoke again. Okay. Can you dismiss the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata and also deny the presence of gods in them who killed Kansa and Ravana? Well, a correction, Miss Rupali Sinha, Arjun said. In my understanding, Ram and Krishna were avatars of God and not God themselves. Muhammad was a prophet. Guru Nanak was a guru. They all were messengers of one supreme God. So at least you agree that there exists one supreme God. Rupali felt she had won the argument. There was a smile on her face. Well, I don't deny that. Yes, so when you say you don't deny, it means that you agree. Right. In her excitement, she raised a finger at Arjun. She wanted to nail him down. Not denying something doesn't mean agreeing with that thing. It simply means not denying it, argued Arjun. Now you are playing with words, she pouted sadly. Sensing that she had suddenly lost her enthusiasm, Arjun changed the discussion. Okay, listen. Here are my thoughts. If you would have listened to me carefully, you would remember that I never said that God doesn't exist. I only said that I don't believe in him, which means even if he exists, I do not believe in him. See, I agree that there is something out there, some supreme power that is behind the creation of this universe. While some may call it God, to me it is a black box. I am not sure who or what exactly it is. Arjun's point rekindled the interest in Rupali, who now happily continued the discussion. Rupali appreciated the fact that Arjun's disbelief in God was not baseless. Irrespective of whether or not he was right, he had a rationale to it. Two people could be equally good even when they may have completely opposite thought processes. Rupali now looked at Arjun with a lot of respect and she couldn't deny she was enjoying his company. After halting at one of the stations, the metro abruptly started with a massive jerk. Along with the others, Rupali too was thrown off and since she had only rested her back on the vertical bar and wasn't holding on to a support, she was about to fall. To save herself, she reflexively held on to Arjun's kurta. Rupali, whose first thought after recovering was how to deal with the awkwardness of coming so close to Arjun, tried to move away without looking into his eyes. Suddenly, the train jerked to a halt again. But she hadn't seen that coming. She was still holding on to Arjun's kurta. Arjun tried to save her this time and, suddenly, the two of them heard a sound of something tearing. It was the chest pocket of Arjun's kurta. Oh no. I'm so sorry, she cried. But she was more embarrassed than sorry. All she wanted to do in that moment was hide her face and never see Arjun till the college opened again. Arjun looked at his half-torn pocket. He looked at Rupali, whose hand was on her mouth. Stop doing that and at least hold on to a support now, he said laughing. She looked even more embarrassed. Relax. It's okay. You didn't do that on purpose. See, it now complements my ripped jeans. He chuckled, showing her the patches and threads dangling from his designer jeans. No, it's not okay. It looks funny and this is entirely my mistake. And it's bothering me a lot, she whined. If it's bothering you, don't look at it. How do I not look at it? It is right on your chest. Every time I look at you, I look at what I have done, she answered. Then don't look at me. How do I not? And she stopped short of completing it. Arjun looked at her and then walked away from her. She watched him interact with a few people who sat with their bulky office bags on their laps. She could make out that Arjun was asking them for something. One of them nodded and handed over something from his bag. It was a stapler. Arjun stapled his torn pocket. Jugaad, he said with a smile. Does it bother you now, madam? No, Rupali responded shyly. This caring gesture from Arjun touched her heart, yet again. Later in the afternoon, the two of them sat in one corner of the sanctorum surrounding the Sarovar, the holy pool, in the Gurudwara. Before arriving there, both had performed seva, free services, in the langar, free community kitchen, hall. It was Rupali's first time in a Gurudwara. Arjun had shown her how in a Gurudwara anyone could participate in offering services like storing and polishing the shoes of the visitors, or serving food in the langar or cleaning utensils or the Gurudwara complex. Rupali had joined Arjun in serving the langar and quite enjoyed it. Starting from letting her know that she should keep her head covered to showing her how to serve the chapatis, Arjun had quickly taught her everything. After a few rounds of serving, they ate together. All along, Arjun kept telling Rupali about all that he knew about Sikhism. Finally, sitting at the edge of the Sarovar, Rupali was teasing Arjun on how shamelessly he had taken the prasad for the third time. Arjun kept grinning as he ate the final serving of it with great pleasure. They sat quietly and enjoyed the calmness of that place. For a while no one spoke anything. For all that you do, you are so near to God and still you don't believe in Him, Rupali spoke. Arjun didn't feel the need to respond. He didn't. You do so much here that a God fearing person like me wouldn't have thought of doing till now. God fearing? Arjun asked. I thought you believed in him rather than fearing him. Rupali was quiet. Without expecting her to react, he said, I don't come here to connect with God. I come here because I feel at peace in this divine atmosphere. I like listening to an azan in a mosque, inhaling the smell of incense in a temple, lighting a candle in a church, sitting by the side of a sarovar in a gurudwara. I feel good experiencing all this. That's my only takeaway. As they talked, the two of them didn't look at each other. Their eyes stared at the silent waters. It appeared as if they were not talking to each other but to the water in front of them, turn by turn. I have never met an interesting person like you, who has crossed the man made boundaries of religion and still rejects the idea of God, Rupali said softly without expecting any further arguments from Arjun. But he responded, "What's the point of believing in him if he is not there when you need him the most?" Rupali turned her head towards Arjun and asked, "What do you mean by that?" It took Arjun a few moments of silence and Rupali a few moments of anticipation before he spoke again. "Heard of the Benares bomb blasts in the year 2006? Yes. I lost my elder sister in it. Oh, I am so sorry to hear that." Rupali could almost understand why Arjun had lost the faith in God. She was such a nice human being. She used to help everyone in need and didn't mind sacrificing her time, energy, and money for others. Just like you. A lot more religious than me. Yes, back then, I had faith in God, something that I lost after she died in that temple, and her dear God, to whom she prayed for ages, couldn't do anything. I can see that you have been holding on to this grudge against God for not saving your sister. But eventually, we will all die one day. Everyone who takes birth has to die. Should one stop believing in God then? Yes, everyone has to die one day. But no one deserves to die that way, in a bomb blast, Arjun said, looking at her with some rage. But it was an act of terrorists. Why are you holding God responsible for it? Because if the world believes that God is that supreme power without whose permission nothing happens, then I have all the right to believe that that very God killed my sister. Yes, that's what I believe. Arjun sounded rebellious. He pulled his eyes away from Rupali, back to the water. "Don't say that, Arjun," Rupali softly urged. "Why not? Wasn't it God's wish? My sister had dreams. She wanted to do a lot of things. She didn't deserve this. What was her fault?" Then he felt Rupali's hand over his right shoulder. Arjun calmed down. I am sorry." Rupali noticed his moist eyes. She gently rubbed his shoulder. "I don't know if this is true, but our religion says that our destinies are defined by our karma." "Yes, it says so. And everyone who knows my sister would vouch for her good karma," Arjun responded. "And my lack of faith in God is not just limited to what happened with my sister. Read the newspapers. Little kids who haven't even gained consciousness die cruel deaths. What about their karma? Had they even turned old enough to perform their karma? And if not, then based on which karma did God write their destiny?" he asked. "We carry forward our karma from our previous lives, but isn't this bizarre? How would I know what I have done in my past life? Shouldn't this balance sheet of karma and destiny be settled in one life rather than be carried forward from one to the next? Why reward me or penalize me for what I have done in my past life, which I have absolutely no idea about? Why not do it in this life?" Rupali looked at Arjun. She wanted to change Arjun's notions on the subject of God, but Arjun ended up challenging her understanding. Her idea was not to win the debate, but to try her bit to make Arjun regain his lost faith. She looked so miserable that Arjun felt she was going to cry. So he changed the topic. "And what karma did I do that a girl from Dew ended up tearing the pocket of my kurta in a crowded metro?" Rupali smiled suddenly. "Don't worry, I will stitch the pocket back," she said, grinning naughtily. "Really? I wouldn't mind availing that offer," he said, laughing. Rupali nodded confidently. They had a few light moments after that. And after their heavy discussion, these moments by the side of the Sarovar appeared like real bliss. When evening fell, they left for the campus. At the gate of the girls' hostel, Arjun bid her goodbye. But not before the two of them had decided when and where they were going to meet the next day.